The trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. That is the classic saying in trading. Today is the first part of a 9-part series on how to identify very high probability setups so you can ride that full trend and maximize your gains and minimize your risk. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jagir. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008, where I only used to focus on currencies, but now exclusive on cryptocurrency. If you're new to this channel, subscribe to the channel itself because we do value every single day at 2 p.m. UK time, releasing it, being consistent. So today's focus is going to be on momentum. How to identify momentum on 2 time frame, which massively increases the probability of your success rate. So let's dive straight in. With this whole series, this 9-part series, we're actually going to focus on Solana. And what the focus is going to be, how can we identify this opportunity in advance? We're going to use Solana as the example. And we did this in advance, by the way. If you go back to my videos back in June, July last year, you'll see that we did this video in advance. But we're going to show you how, step by step, and how you can really maximize and leverage this whole position of the market. Because ideally what we're looking to do is buy low and sell high before the correction. And step 1 is to identify this opportunity before it takes off. And then in the latter parts of this series, how to really identify in advance that this is topping out and to be able to exit before a major correction. And we did this in advance. So we're going to focus on this part down here. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to just zoom in on this part of the market. And today's focus is momentum. So the first thing that we're going to do is jump into a weekly chart. So you have different time frames with different charts. So I'm using TradingView over here, and we can click daily view or this button up here. And what you'll see if I just move myself to the side is you can have a weekly view, a daily view, an hourly view. We are focused on daily at the moment. But what we're going to do is jump into a weekly chart. So here's one that I prepared earlier. I'm going to pop out of this one, and in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to jump in. And the focus of today is using momentum indicators. My absolute favorite is stochastic RSI. It's a very simple indicator from a visual perspective, because what it does for us at the bottom, it tells us that the market moves in rhythms and cycles, ups and downs. And the blue line and the red line give us very valuable information. And what we want to be doing is taking seriously the trend is your friend, ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend, right? But how can we know what the trend is and when there's likely to be a trend reversal? Well, one of the easiest ways, not as a standalone, but as in conjunction with a few other things, is looking at a momentum indicator. So here we have a weekly indicator where the blue line and the red line is underneath this black line. What that simply means is a term called is oversold, meaning that the downside movement should be limited and that we should anticipate a bullish reversal, an upside reversal where this is going to be pointing up. And when it's pointing up, that means we expect the price action to be sideways to up for a particular length of time. Now, during this series, we're going to cover pattern, we're going to cover price, and we're going to see how we can put these together. But today's series, today's part is really focused on momentum. So the weekly momentum gives us very valuable information. And by the way, I've backtracked the data. This data over here, we've gone back to July 19th, 2021 to go, the weekly momentum is oversold. And that means we should be looking for, not with this as a standalone, but we should be looking for buying opportunities because of this. And then we're going to look at 2 time frames. So this is the bonus. So we've got 1 time frame, which is a weekly chart. Now we want 2 time frames telling us the same information. So what we're looking for is the weekly to be either bullish, where the blue line and the red line are pointing up, or they're in the oversold zone. So over here is in the oversold zone. So that's valuable information. But now what we want is to jump back into that original chart and now pull up a momentum indicator to tell us, to really tell us in advance. On the next bullish reversal, I'm going to do it like this. We're going to zoom in over here, zoom in over here. Again, we're still on around, what's the date over here? July 19th. On the next bullish reversal, which is down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we should look for buying opportunities, buying opportunities. So that's the real lesson for today. You want momentum indicators. My favorite is stochastics RSI. The settings for this particular one, if I double click on it, is 13855. There's a few different settings, but what you're looking for really is where the lows over here marry up pretty well with the lows of the momentum when the blue line and the red line overlap. So on the next overlap, it's likely to be a low again. So now we're going to zoom out just to summarize this particular lesson, because this is a 9-part series. So I'm going to focus on 9 parts. This was a very valuable piece of information on how we identified in advance that this is likely to be a low. So over this 9-part series, we're going to focus on pattern, price, but initially one of the easiest ways is momentum, because it's very objective and very clear, very visual. And what we can see with Solana on July 19th, the weekly was oversold, so the downside was limited, and the daily on the next bullish reversal tells us there's a high probability that we're going to see upside movement. But that by itself is not enough. And in the next video, what we're going to cover is how we identify pattern position. And if you want to learn more about Elliott Wave and Fibonacci, I've actually got a free Elliott Wave and Fibonacci masterclass. It's in the description box below. I literally cover everything in detail so you can learn how to read the markets like a pro, because it's buying and selling behavior that drives the market. It's fear and greed. It's speculation. People are voting on the price based on their human emotions. And based on Elliott Wave and Fibonacci, we can see in advance what's likely to occur. So in the next part of this 9-part series, we're going to dive into some Elliott Wave patterns, which is going to add more context to the momentum. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, because we bring daily value to you to help you increase your financial health through simple crypto and blockchain education. Let's finish today on a quote from my book. We are going to go with chapter 8, very, very relevant. It is from Henry Ford. It has been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste. So during this 9-part series, we're really going to focus on breaking everything down. Momentum, pattern, price, but really looking into how you can really get that edge in your favor so you become the casino, so the probability of you winning goes high. So you can win this game of crypto tennis. So if you like today's content, again, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you very soon.